Hello, and welcome to Law Talk. My name is John Celebrezze, and I'm the co-founder of the Celebrezze Zanghi Community Legal Education Project, as we call it, CZ-CLEP for short. Our organization provides continuing education about the judiciary and legislature to attorneys, judges, government officials, and the general public. As a career educator, I recognize early on how important legal matters are and how they impact our lives. I am the nephew of the late Anthony J. Celebrezze, who was the popular five-term mayor of Cleveland and a member of President Kennedy's cabinets. As a tribute to his lifetime commitment to the legal process, we dedicate this show. Our guest today is Claire Dickinson from the Ohio 9th District Court of Appeals. Judge Dickinson did his undergraduate work at the University of Pittsburgh and received his law degree from Cleveland Marshall College of Law. Judge Dickinson served as a member of the 9th District Court of Appeals from 1993 to 1999 and then returned in 2007. He also served as a member of the Summit County Council, serving as its president in 1991, 2005, and 2006. Admitted to practice in Ohio and the federal courts, Judge Dickinson is a member of the Akron, Lorain, Medina, and Wayne County Bar Associations, along with his membership in the American and Ohio Bar Associations. Welcome, Judge.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for being our guest today.
My pleasure.
Judge, before we dig into the Court of Appeals, we notice here that you did your undergraduate work in Pittsburgh. Are you a native Pennsylvanian?
Yes, I grew up in Pennsylvania, a small town called Saxton. Actually, it was named after President McKinley's wife's uncle.
Oh, how about that? Well, he was an Ohioan anyway.
He was a railroad man, and Saxton was named for him.
And so you came to us from Pennsylvania. Judge, you've been a judge back in the 90s, and you left, you returned, you spent a good deal of your life as a judge, your professional life, and you still are as we speak. At what point in your life did you decide that this would be a good job for me?
I graduated from law school in 1977 from Cleveland Marshall, as you said, and I then went to work as a law clerk for Leroy J. Conti, Jr., who was at that time the federal district judge in Akron. I spent 2 years with Judge Conti. He was a very good judge, was a mentor. I remained very close to him as long as he lived. It was during those 2 years, seeing what Judge Conti did, that I decided that I wanted to be a judge someday as well.
Well, it's always an interesting question to ask judges, and it's interesting the answers that they give. I mean, it's somewhat of a calling, and as we well know, it's an awesome responsibility. So, we certainly thank you for your service. Judge, I wrote down a few questions, and I think our viewers are going to be interested in your answers to these, because as a judge on the 9th District Court of Appeals, you make decisions all the time that happen that affect our people in our viewing area, Medina County primarily, but you also have a broader range. What other counties than Medina do you cover?
The 9th District Court of Appeals is the Court of Appeals for Summit, Lorain, Medina, and Wayne counties.
I see. So we don't see as much of you, or you don't have quite the notoriety as we've had Judge Kimbler on the show and Judge Collier, but you're out there, and you do affect those of us in the judiciary on a regular basis. Over the past year, we had, as I said, Judges Kimbler and Collier, common pleas judges, on the show. How does your court differ from their courts, Judge?
We're the court that reviews their work. The Judges Kimbler and Collier are trial court judges. They're in the kind of court that you see on TV all the time.
I see.
Where the jurors come in and you have a witness and lawyers question the witness.
Sure.
And every once in a while a lawyer jumps up and says, I object, and the judge says sustained or overruled. When one of those parties in that kind of proceeding loses and they think that they lost because the trial judge made a mistake, they get to come to our court and tell us that, and we decide whether the trial judge made a mistake, and if the trial judge did make a mistake, whether that mistake hurt the party who appealed.
I see. Boy. So you're kind of the boss of...
Well, I wouldn't put it that way. The trial judges have to make a lot of decisions in the course of any given case, and they have to make those decisions very quickly.
Sure.
If they stopped and went back in their chambers to research every question that came up when it came up, you'd never get cases decided. So they make these decisions very quickly, and when it comes to the Court of Appeals, certain of those decisions are isolated for us, and the parties file briefs with us telling us what they think the law is on a particular question, and then we hear argument from them and do research, and we issue written opinions.
I see. So actually, the question I wrote down here, I think you partially answered. It's worth returning to for a minute. I wrote down, does this mean that decisions on criminal and civil matters made by those judges are not final? And the answer to that is yes, right?
Well, the answer is yes, in most instances. Now, there are some decisions that trial judges make that really are not reviewable at all. In a criminal case, if the defendant is acquitted, that's not reviewable.
Okay.
The prosecutor cannot appeal and say that the jury or the trial judge made a mistake in acquitting, because that's under our Constitution, that's the double jeopardy.
Sure.
But other than that, most decisions of the trial judge are reviewable, although we look at some decisions more closely than we look at others.
Sure. I imagine there's never a case that comes by you that there's nuances of differences then in all of them, I mean, I suppose.
Yes. We hear hundreds of cases, and no two are exactly alike.
But when a case comes to the Court of Appeals, is there a jury?
No. There are no juries in the Court of Appeals. There are 5 judges on the 9th District Court of Appeals. On any one case, 3 of us sit on that case. So 3 of us read the briefs that the parties give us, and then we hear argument from the lawyers. Each side gets 15 minutes to present oral argument to us, and it's purely argument. And usually the parties don't even come to the oral argument.
Really?
It's usually just the lawyers.
I see. So a forum for lawyers, no jury per se, so you say there's 3 of you sit?
On each case, yes.
But all total for our 9th District, there are 5 of you.
That's right.
All of you are elected?
Yes, we're all elected in the 4 counties that I am.
I see. So your electorate comes in, your votes come in for all the 4 counties.
Correct.
And then do you serve like, I won't say a regular judge, but like a common pleas or immunity judge for a 6-year period?
6-year term, yes.
I see. Do you have to be a municipal court judge or a common pleas judge to be an appellate judge?
No, you do not. And in fact, the only court that I've ever served on is the Court of Appeals.
I see.
And some of the members of our court were previously municipal court judges. 3 of them were municipal court judges, and 1 was a common pleas court judge. I'm the only one on the court right now who never served on a trial court.